Okay, ready. Tetsuo!
Got it!
Jesus Christ. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Coworkers podcast. I'm Regan.
AKA Kaneda. And I'm Josh, aka Tetsuo. For those of you unfamiliar, that is a reference to the wonderful Japanese animated movie Akira from the 90s, right?
Yep. Yep.
And going off of that, we're going to dive right into some movies that we watched this week.
Mm-hmm.
So Reagan, take it away. What did you watch this week?
All right. So from maybe last Tuesday, last Tuesday was a fucking tragedy for me. But going up to this Tuesday, I've seen Skyfall.
Skyfall.
There it is, folks. There it is. I've seen Akira, of course. I've seen Love, Simon.
Okay.
I've seen Training Day. So fucking good.
That's a good
so
one. That's a good
good.
one. David Ayer. we got beef. We got a bone to pick with that guy in a second.
The Matrix.
All right. He's starting
So
to believe.
fucking good too. So fucking good. And I, Tonya.
That's a good one too.
Margot Robbie's fucking great
Yeah.
in it. Batman v Superman.
All right, we're going down a bit. the descent on the roller coaster.
And Suicide Squad.
This is like a 90-degree now.
Yeah. We're going straight down.
We are plummeting.
But yeah, those are the films that I watched this past week.
So out of all of them, which one do you think is the best, or maybe like your favorite two or three?
Oh, that's a good one. My favorite, or I think the one I had like the most like fun like watching.
Yeah,
would have to be Training Day. Training Day or The Matrix. One of those. I think I, Tonya would be up there too, but yeah,
it's a good one.
Those
I, Tonya is a good one.
Yeah.
Did you see Terry Crews in the background of one of the scenes in Training Day?
Bro, after I did a little research, I found out that's one of his like earliest roles.
I think it's his first role. Yeah,
Jeez,
because he was the bodyguard for Denzel Washington's like trailer or something like that. Like he was like standing around, and then Denzel Washington was just like, "Hey man, you want to be a part of the movie?" And
Bro, that's hella funny because like now he's known as the fucking white chicks guy.
Yeah, and then he propelled himself to popularity through that role.
That's so fun. That's so interesting how the world works.
Yeah, it is.
Right?
It really is.
But yeah, those are the films I watched. The worst one I watched was fucking Suicide Squad.
Oh, it's funny that you're like the most fun you had is Training Day, and the worst is another David Ayer movie.
Exactly. Fucking how did David Ayer go from writing Training Day, and then he directed Suicide Squad?
Dude,
I mean, to be fair, there was a lot of studio meddling. With Suicide Squad.
It's a DC movie after all.
Yeah, but who fucking knows what the original product would have been at this point?
The movie itself is like, it's kind of like one long trailer. The way it's cut and like presented, it's really like inconsistent in like all aspects. You know, we had a discussion today about ratings on our movies that radically change because as we grow up and as we mature, our tastes in things change.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad is one of those examples. You know what I gave that fucking movie when it first came out and I had first watched it? Oh god, I'm gonna get crucified for this one. I gave it a 7.
Josh, what the fuck?
Yeah. Years later, this shit's like a 3.
I mean, to be fair, it's what we talked about, that initial like viewing.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like when I watched it, I was like, oh, that was kind of fun, and I was like 7, kind of fun. Like hell no, I went back and I rewatched it. I was like, the fuck was I smoking?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, man. I think the only thing holding that movie together for me was Margot Robbie, Will Smith, Viola Davis. And that's about it.
You didn't like Jared Leto's Joker with the big ass damaged like plastered on his forehead?
How could I like him when he was barely in the movie?
Bro, he stole every scene. You didn't like the part when he was purring at the guy in the freezer? He's like, and there's another scene where he's like, "You don't want this beef? You don't want beef?" or some shit like that. I know a lot of the lines, and then when he's laughing, he's like,
Whatever, man. Yeah, Jared Leto's Joker. I'm not feeling it.
Not feeling it at all. It didn't help that in the Snyder cut of Justice League, you didn't finish it, right? Did you finish it?
I know. I haven't finished Snyder.
Do you know
yet.
about his famous line at the end of the movie?
Wasn't it like We Live in a Society or some shit?
No.
Was it about like him doing something sexual with Batman?
Oh shit. Okay, yeah, you're onto it. You're onto it.
I don't want to say it out loud. Jesus Christ.
I got you, bro.
Oh no.
All right, this is my audition for Zack Snyder's next Joker. So he says, "I'm your best friend, Batman. Who's gonna give you a reach around?" A reach around? The fuck? And then at that point, Batman was like, "If you betray me, I'm gonna fucking kill you." So bad.
Thanks, Jared Leto.
Thanks, Snyder.
All right. Anyways.
Yeah.
All that aside,
you didn't like the Oscar-worthy dialogue in Suicide Squad?
No.
This is Katana.
This is Katana. Her sword traps the souls of her enemies.
That's pretty good, both of us. That was pretty good.
Okay, I'm getting tired of this fucking Suicide Squad talk.
It's kind of. I honestly think Suicide Squad is kind of like so bad it's funny. There's a lot of it that I think is really funny. So? It's fucking other than the fact that like. It's barely watchable. You can't tell what the fuck is going on. Why is everything so dark?
Dude, there was literally a point where I was like, I was watching the movie, right? And I thought I was paying attention to it. I was watching it, and I'm like, oh wait, I'm still watching this movie. How long am I in this? Hour 24, bro. I was like, what? I have another like 40 minutes to go.
Yep.
Well, okay, well, anyways, yeah, those are my thoughts on Suicide Squad, or our thoughts. But what did you watch this week, Josh?
What did I watch this week?
Yeah.
Well, unlike Reagan's large quantity of movies that he watched, I watched 2.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least that I could remember at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I watched Raya and the Last Dragon and this movie on HBO Max that just came out called Those Who Want Me Dead? Those Who Wish Me Dead. Those Who Wish Me Dead with Angelina Jolie.
Mm-hmm.
And Raya's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Raya was pretty cool.
I think I had warned you when I had first watched it.
Yeah.
I told you that Raya is pretty cool. Like it's a pretty good movie. But in terms of like plot and like how the story progresses, it's very bare bones.
It's really basic. You know? It's pretty much like they wanted to speedrun Avatar. And I know it's kind of like the hot take.
Heresy.
The heresy. I'm going to get canceled on Twitter because like
you compared it to Avatar.
I compared it to Avatar when Avatar is made by white people and Raya is like heavily researched using like the Asian experience and like all that mythology and whatnot. I'm not saying it's bad. It's okay. It's a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
It looks phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
Every Pixar movie is
It's not Pixar, by the way.
Is it not Pixar?
No, it's Walt Disney Animation Studios.
Whoopsies, my bad.
Yeah.
Every Disney movie is like a flex on like how good their technology is.
Yeah.
A lot of times when like, man, there was a part at the end when it was like kind of sad, and then I think Raya was talking to Sisu.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like a close up of Sisu, and then I paused the movie, and rather than like thinking about like the sad moment, I was like, holy shit, look at that fur, look at that fucking hair. It looked so good. There's so many like textural stuff, and I was just like, what the how did they fucking do this?
Dude, I think one thing for me, what I really liked about it is like, this was like I don't even know if you can classify it as like a princess movie. Right?
Oh, that is true. Yeah,
it's like a princess movie, but it's not a musical.
Yeah, nobody busts
out
into song and dance. And it's got like cool action scenes too.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
And that's why I think I liked it a lot more, is because it was very different from what Disney usually does, especially with their like princess movies.
Yeah,
and I'm using air quotations with that. But I really like the action sequences. You know, because like I mean, to be fair, we've seen a little bit of action sequence from Disney, like with Mulan and stuff. But this one's fucking sick because what they did, which was really interesting, was they incorporated Filipino martial arts, Eskrima.
Yeah,
and it's early on in the movie because she has two like kali sticks.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it was so cool to see it animated, dude. It was sick, and also that.
Pretty awesome.
Spoilers, sorry for those of you who haven't watched it, go watch it. But spoilers, there's a scene where she's in like that one, the snowy area, right? And she fights Namari. And the fighting style that Namari does is Muay Thai. So she uses a lot of elbows, a lot of knees.
Yeah.
And I was like, as someone who's like, you know, practicing Muay Thai right now and like learning, I'm like, yo, that's fucking sick. Like that's fucking sick. And also the Southeast Asian representation.
Yeah.
Just fucking cool. Like I fucking love that.
It's really nice. Yeah. It's overall, it's a good movie. I thought the writing was kind of weird, mainly because like, um, I had this thought that compared to like a prior recent Disney movie like Soul, Soul is a movie that is it's a quote unquote kids movie, but it has something that everybody could like latch onto or enjoy or like see.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like more than the sum of its parts.
Mm-hmm.
Raya, on the other hand, feels like it is solely a kids movie.
Mm.
That's how I like.
Well,
Kind of.
let me throw a question at you, Josh.
What's up?
So you describe it as more of a kids movie, right?
Yeah.
Now, would you say that kid movies are like supposed to not be good or not have quality?
Oh fuck no.
Because it's meant for kids.
No, fuck no. I hate that idea. I hate that idea that perpetrates a lot of studios' heads that like, okay, we're gonna throw the biggest purveyor of this, Illumination. Illumination makes like Despicable Me and Minions and a lot of like low tier stuff. They make loud, obnoxious kids movies because they think kids only want loud and obnoxious things.
Yeah.
When you could have kids movies with more bite to it. Look at Pixar. Look at the Lego movie.
Yeah.
Look at Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't treat kids like idiots.
Exactly.
And you know, it's like I'm not knocking down Raya for like categorizing it as like just a kids movie. It's just that compared to the grand scheme of other Disney movies and whatnot, it's a lot more simple and straightforward and to the point.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it's like it's a fine lesson. It's a cool like idea, you know, like I caught on to the whole unity thing. It's like, you know, as Raya was going around to each location and gathering her band of misfits and like everybody working together. It's like, this is a representation that everybody can work together no matter their differences. It's cool. Did I want it to be the only lesson and have it repeated to me like so many times throughout the movie? Not necessarily. Did I think Awkwafina's some of her dialogue was kind of weird and some of the humor didn't land for me? Yeah. I felt like when they first introduced Sisu, she was saying a bunch of like jokes that almost felt like meme humor.
It was very like Genie-esque.
Yeah,
you know
but like it didn't it lacked like some sort of like cleverness to it. Like there's a line of dialogue I remember where she says, have you ever been in a group project and everybody does the work but you just deliver it and you get the same grade? I was like, it's kind of like a real world reference that kind of takes me out of the movie. It's not a joke that is like catered for like the atmosphere of Raya. And also there's a scene where they talk about credit and I was like, what the fuck? Is that something in this movie?
Yo, that's just fucking sick.
I was like, what?
I got a little chuckle out of that.
Yeah, I thought it was funny like how out of place it is, but then it kind of like made me like tilt my head like, oh. I was like, okay. But yeah, overall it's a beautiful movie that does its job.
Yeah.
And I gave it a 6, which means I liked it.
Nice.
Okay, everyone? I liked it.
All right, so what do you think of Those Who Wish Me Dead?
That shit was trash.
Which I kind of want to see, like, to be honest.
It's fucking... Okay, so the director of the movie, Taylor Sheridan, he's been writing and directing for a little while now. You may know him for a little movie called Sicario. He wrote Sicario. This motherfucker wrote Sicario, and then he came out with this. But also, as a director, he's had 2 other Western-esque movies called Hell or High Water and Wind River. I have not seen Hell or High Water, but I have seen Wind River. It has Jeremy Renner and Elizabeth Olsen in it. It's actually pretty damn good. But I don't know what happened, like, in between all the movies, where his quality and writing started to go down a bit.
Okay.
And it's represented the most in Those Who
Wish Me Dead.
Wish Me Dead. See, I don't even know the fucking title of this movie. So the movie's about Angelina Jolie, and she's a firefighter, and she has to help this kid escape assassins, and everything. Like, some people were actually like commending the movie for being a very straightforward, almost 90s-esque like thriller. And I could see that, but like it just didn't work for me because I didn't think any of it was that exciting. I didn't really like Angelina Jolie's character. She wasn't all that interesting. and it's just like whatever. And it's got some really corny dialogue. Got some weird dialogue. It's got bland cinematography. Yeah, that's pretty much how I felt about it.
Speaking of corny dialogue, that's not the only movie we watched that has corny dialogue. Which we'll get to.
Which we'll get to shortly, because I'm going to wrap up Those Who Wish Me Dead by saying it's like a 4, maybe a 3.
Oh, fuck.
It's not that. It's an hour and 30 minutes, and the whole time I was just like...
That's an easy watch.
It's an easy watch. It's not really a fun watch, though.
All right, I'll probably check it out later then.
Yep. Now, it's a good thing that we actually had a small little discussion on martial arts and Raya, because
that's very true.
It leads into the movie that we will be discussing at length, at nauseum, today, which is Mortal Kombat, the 2021 reboot, release, remake, whatever the fuck you want to call it, reinterpretation. Mortal Kombat, or how I like to call it, Moron Kombat. Now, Reagan, this is interesting because the dichotomy between me and you about this movie is that I've been playing Mortal Kombat since I was a wee lad, and you are unfamiliar with like the game, the overall story.
I know some of the characters just because they're the characters.
Just because they're pretty iconic. They're the mascots.
But I've never played the game.
Yeah, that's like anything further than that. You can't really like say you're a Mortal Kombat fan going into this, right?
Yeah.
So, going off of that, Reagan, what are your thoughts on the movie? Do you want to talk about some of the plot, or do you just want to go into like a review? It's been a few weeks since people have, so I'm pretty sure people have the chance to see it.
Oh man, I just wanted to have fun with this movie.
Yeah,
like truly, I just wanted to have fun.
I wanted like more, kind of like the same feeling like Godzilla vs. Kong. Gave us, And it's kind of like the same thing because I was a fan of like Godzilla, and going into it, like I thought that shit was funny.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat, I'm a fan of it, but results may vary. So Reagan, would you like to continue?
Mortal Kombat was just grueling, dude. Like in the beginning, like the opening scene with Hiroyuki Sanada, and him going against Sub-Zero.
Yeah, Joe tossed him.
That shit was sick.
Yep, that was good stuff.
And then it cuts to an MMA fight
with our movie original character Cole Young. His character is not found in any of the games.
Yeah.
Shit.
And then it's about him, a down on his luck MMA fighter,
amateur MMA fighter,
who's like taking up fights last minute for scraps.
Trying to take care of who I thought was his sister at first.
Yes.
And it turns out it's his daughter, because this guy Cole Young apparently is not young.
And apparently he used to be like a champion, but something happened like to where he's not a champion anymore, and he doesn't believe in himself, and he's not a good fighter anymore apparently.
Yeah. And apparently, and he also has a weird birthmark.
Yeah. And so the whole thing about this movie is that people with this weird birthmark that looks like a dragon are all being recruited. Josh is convulsing. They're all being recruited to join this tournament, which is it's like that's in the video game, right? Like a tournament.
It is. This the framework of the story for Mortal Kombat the movie takes directly from the first Mortal Kombat game, which is the realms. There's Outworld. The main one is that there's Outworld and there's Earthrealm, and the ruler of Outworld, Shao Kahn, who's not in the movie by the way, holds this tournament where if he wins 10 times, he could take over Earthrealm. And now Outworld has won 9 tournaments. So he has his lackey named Shang Tsung assemble like a group of fighters, and they are going to Earthrealm to have the last Mortal Kombat. So Earthrealm and the Guardian of Earthrealm, Raiden, has to assemble his own band of hooligans to come together and fight the people of Outworld and to save the Earth. Yeah.
Okay, anyways.
Anyways.
So, basically, Cole Young, he gets recruited by Jax. By this point, he's not really Jax. He's just a dude named, he's just a dude. Jax.
He's just an army dude named Jax.
And so he's telling him, oh, yeah, I have to recruit you. But, of course, he's like, oh, no, that's not me. That's not what I do. You have the wrong guy. And
but then, you got the tattoo.
And
we're the same, Cole Young. He pulls up his like tank top and he exposes like on his abdomen or something that he's got the same fucking dragon stamp that they bought from Staples.
Anyways, yeah, that happens, and then Sub-Zero attacks them because he has to like go. He wants to go after them and kill them. So
yeah, because they're essentially trying to like cheat and like kill the people who possess the dragon tattoo, so they don't have that many people to fight against in the tournament. So Shang Tsung sends Sub-Zero to Earthrealm to hunt down Cole and to kill him. Yeah. So Jax comes in his SUV, saves Cole and his family, and as they're running away, Jax is like, I'll hold him off. So Cole Young takes the SUV and Jax chases Sub-Zero into a building, and they have a pretty decent fight.
This is where I laughed out loud.
Oh, really?
I texted you. Remember I texted you?
Yeah, you messaged me. You were like, bro, like, I just laughed out loud because of the movie.
I was 30 minutes in. 30 minutes in. And it was the scene where Jax was like, he was fighting Sub-Zero and he goes, I've done 2 tours, motherfucker. And I'm like, what the fuck? I just started dying. I'm like, what the fuck?
I don't think the tours are gonna prepare you for a guy who could create ice out of his fucking hands.
No, for real. And so he fights. He loses his arms because Sub-Zero like freezes his arms and explodes it because they're frozen. And so he just pushes him off a building.
You know what's funny about that? Oh, he pushes him off a building. He bonks his head on the concrete. The funny thing about Jax is that they've changed the lore on his arms so many times.
Really?
They've retconned it. Like, in the beginning, he already had robot arms, like when they first introduced him in like Mortal Kombat 2 or something like that. And then they rebooted the series and he lost his arms to a sorcerer who's not in the movie. He's in the game though. He gets his arms blown off. And then in the Mortal Kombat movies, the original ones from the 90s, directed by Paul W.S. Anderson, amazing fellow.
Yeah.
Sonya finds him in a lab just installing arms, but the funny thing about it is that the arms aren't replacements, they're sleeves.
Okay.
Like we could talk about that another day, but in this movie, fucking Sub-Zero blows off his arms.
So he blows him off his arms, and then Cole goes to meet Sonya Blade.
Yes.
And Sonya Blade, she doesn't have the mark that they have, but she's served in the army with Jax. So that's how she
feels
knows
attached to him. And helping him out.
And so this is the big exposition dump where she tells Cole, this is what's going on. This is setting up the rest of the movie.
Yep. Every time Sonya is like present in the movie, she's just an exposition dump.
This script is almost like it was written once. That's
I can see that, yeah.
It was written once, and it got sold to the studios or whatever.
Point A to point B.
Yeah, point A to point B up until release. Written once, performed once. It's like the director only got one take from each person.
They're trying to speed run the shooting process.
It's so bad.
It's funny you say that because this movie's been in development hell for a long time. It's gotten actually like multiple iterations.
Yeah, and it's like the one thing that irks me about the movie is, for example, like a character will say something to set up something, right? So they'll set up something, then they pay it off, and as they're paying it off, they come back to when they set it up. It's like, dude, you don't need to tell us that Jax is your friend because you've already told us that Jax is your friend.
But audience, let me remind you, Jax is my friend.
That happened like throughout the movie, and I was like, oh my god. And then of course it has all the corny dialogue, right?
Yeah, 90s schlock.
We need to work together. We'll take them on together. We can do this, guys. Oh my god, my goodness.
And then when Cole goes to meet Sonya, they meet another wonderful character. They meet a character named Kano.
Kano did. Initially, I thought this dude's pretty funny,
Yeah.
But then by the time they like went to the Raiden realm or whatever the fuck.
Oh, like his temple. Yeah.
Yeah, he started fucking annoying me, bro.
Yeah.
That shit
gets overbearing.
Got fucking annoying, dude. It's like the director didn't know what to do with him, so he said, "Yeah, just say a bunch of bullshit, and we'll just throw it in the movie."
Yeah, we'll call it a day. We'll call this improv.
Yes, but basically, Sonya Blade is like, holding him hostage.
Yeah, because they're like tracking down like all these people with the tattoos, and apparently Kano has one.
Yeah, he I think he stole it or something.
He killed someone who had it, so it transferred onto him.
Yeah,
that's how they explained it, which is all bullshit. Like that is not in the games. We're gonna talk about that later, but that's all some pulling it out of the ass, out of the writing room ass.
And so they're in Sonya Blade's hideout, and Shao Kahn or whatever. No, someone else. Right?
Oh no, Shang Tsung and Shang Tsung is walking around Outworld, and he's talking to this female character named Melina, and they're like, "Oh, we found the other fighters. Let's go send in Gogzius. Yeah, Gazorpazorp, some fucking lizard man." Yeah. So the thing about this lizard person is that there's a character in Mortal Kombat. His name's Reptile, and he's a fan favorite. And when I had first seen the trailer, and at the end, like, Kano like sticks his hand through the lizard and like pulls out his heart, I thought that was Reptile, and I was like, "Oh fuck me, this shit's gonna be trash." Reptile looks awful. He looked like a big styrofoam suit in some of the shots.
Oh no.
But anyways, they send Godzilla to attack the Sonya's hideout, and they have this fight scene, and then Kano has a few one-liners. He pulls out the lizard's heart and says Kano wins, and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, he was his own announcer.
Yeah.
Anyways,
and so that whole thing happens. Kano rips the reptile's heart out.
Yeah.
And he doesn't shut up about it. He goes, "Hey, I'm the one who ripped his heart out."
He's got that accent. Blah.
And then eventually we get to a point where they're walking in a desert. I don't even know what happens.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you forgot about a very important Chekhov's gun moment where they're outside talking and Kano's busy staring at a lawn gnome.
Oh, yeah, and he spits on it, right?
He spits on it, and he's like, "These fucking things creep me out."
Hey, that's setup right there.
That's setup.
Setting up
that
something.
Is textbook setup. Chekhov's gun, first act. Now we gotta wait for the third act to see how we cash in.
They end up going to a desert, and then they meet who do they meet?
Oh, they meet Liu Kang.
Yeah, they meet Liu Kang,
who is the predominant protagonist of all the Mortal Kombat movies.
Yeah, like he's like a firebender or something.
Yeah, essentially, he has fire magic, and he's really good at doing bicycle kicks.
But like, Ludi Lin's he didn't do it much for me. It was just like,
if anything, Ludi Lin is fucking ripped.
No, yeah, he is.
He's fucking
just
cut,
like fucking
bro.
Power Rangers.
But in this movie, like more so, dude.
But it's like
negative percentage body fat, bro.
Yeah, it's like, okay,
yeah,
he's here now.
So
because and like a lot of his lines are consisted of just like philosophical talks.
Yeah,
it's like
wise, wise fighter.
Yeah, it's like, Cole, you must be one with yourself or some shit like that. And it's like,
you must connect with your inner self.
Yeah, and so they go to Raiden's like temple.
Yeah,
and that's
where everybody's training.
Yeah. And that's where they realize that they have to like activate this power in themselves. What the fuck is it called?
Okay. I don't know what I forgot what the name is, but they go to Raiden's temple, and Raiden is like, "These are the people I have to work with. I have a washed up fighter and this like guy with a potty mouth and stuff like that, and Sonya who doesn't even have a mark." And he's like, "If you guys are ready, you must use this training ground to unlock your," I don't know what it is. I'm gonna call it chi. But he's like, you gotta unlock your chi so you could like access some super secret power from your lineage.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, by the way, as they are talking about the chi, they find out that Jax is there. And he's being medicated by the staff.
Yep.
At this fucking temple with no I was gonna say no electricity, but Raiden conducts electricity, so I'm like, I guess they have something. And Jax, when they see him, he's got the tiniest fucking arms. He looks like a clown.
No, he looks like Groot in Guardians.
Yeah.
When Gamora like cut his arms off.
So fucking disproportionate. So he's got these tiny arms. He's not a fully evolved Jax. He's like your starter Jax. He's like a Pokemon. And he's got to build up his experience to evolve into
we'll get to that.
Fucking,
yeah, I can't wait to talk about that one. I can't wait to talk about that. But anyways, so now they're at the temple and now they have to train. And then they meet another character.
Named Kung Lao.
Kung Lao.
Which is
Liu Kang's cousin?
Brother. It's like
brother.
it's not a blood brother, but their bond is so close that they call each other brothers.
Yeah, just
just
like
this, just like Toretto and Brian.
Toretto. No, just kidding. Okay, anyways, but so they meet him, and his hat is a chainsaw or some shit.
It's a blade. It's a blade. It's a magic hat.
And so they're doing this whole thing where they're training Kano, Sonya Blade. Oh no, not Sonya, because she doesn't have the mark, so they don't train her.
They don't think she's worthy.
Yeah, but they train Cole and they train Kano.
Yep.
And then you told me about this cool trivia. About,
it's like a quirky little thing. Yeah. How as they're practicing like fighting and whatnot, like hand-to-hand combat, there's a part when Kung Lao does nothing but spam like a low sweep kick on Kano. Mm-hmm. And he's doing that over and over and over again. He keeps on catching him. And it's funny because in the original Mortal Kombat games, like the first one, it was a valid strategy to do nothing but spam like low sweep kick in the corner against your opponent, and they have no way of retaliating. And it was just a funny little like visual nod, like a little gag, because as he's doing the sweep kicks, like Kano's like, "Oh, I got you figured out." So the moment he jumps, like Kung Lao didn't like sweep kick him, and he just sweep kicks him again. And I'm like, "All right, yeah, that's a funny little fighting game joke."
Nice.
And yeah.
And then they're basically training. And then there's a point where they're having dinner, and what's his name again? The guy with the chainsaw hat?
Kung Lao.
Kung Lao. Where Kung Lao and Liu Kang are like they're like poking like Kano's buttons.
Yeah.
And Kano's like, don't you know who I am?
I'm the part of the Black Dragon clan.
Dragon.
He throws a hissy fit.
Yeah, he throws a fucking hissy fit, and then his eye starts glowing, and then turns out he can shoot lasers out of his eyes.
Yeah, his chi power is he can shoot lasers out of his eye, which is bullshit, because in the original Mortal Kombat games, in any Mortal Kombat game, Kano's eye laser is a robot attachment to his head. It's a robotic attachment to his head.
Oh, fuck.
Why the fuck does he just have magic powers to shoot it out of one eye?
Well, they already have Jack, so they can't have two cyborg characters, obviously.
We're talking about a movie. We're talking about a series of games where one of the main villains is trying to turn everybody into a robot.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, well, there it is.
There's so much shit in Mortal Kombat. Yeah. But anyways, yeah. Kano's magic power is to shoot lasers.
Yeah.
And it's just magically through his eye.
And now that he has these newfound powers, now
he's worthy.
Yeah. Now he's just fucking speaking out of his fucking asshole, because he won't shut the fuck up
about how cool he is. Yeah. Because originally he was like, "Oh, it's like you just casted fireballs. Do you think I could cast fireballs too?"
And then where do we go from here?
Oh, you forgot to mention that elsewhere in Outworld, Shang Tsung is assembling all of his goonies. He's got some big buff bald guy. Dude, it's like they chose the weirdest, like most obscure characters to be a part of his
I didn't recognize any of them
group.
To be honest.
The ones that are recognizable are Shang Tsung, Sub-Zero, and Melina.
Yeah, Melina.
But the fact that Melina exists is weird because she's based off of another character. She's a clone of another character from the games named Kitana. Mm-hmm. And Kitana's not in this movie. Mm-hmm. But they have like a little like Easter egg for her. It's her like fan blade. It's like in the background of one of the shots.
I saw that.
So I'm like, what the fuck? Why is this character in there? But like, anyways.
Well, like throughout the movie, there are Easter eggs to other characters, right?
There's a lot.
Like there's that indigenous like American character. Right, he turns into a wolf or something.
Oh, Nightwolf.
Yeah, is that him? Yeah.
They talked about him. There's inside Raiden's temple. There's a lot of little like objects that like hint at other characters and whatnot. At the beginning of the movie, in the in Cole's MMA like gym, there's a poster for a Johnny Cage movie.
Should have gotten to that later, but.
But anyways. If you're an eagle-eyed viewer and you saw that in the beginning, then you would have noticed it.
But. Yeah, there's that, and then he has those
people.
He's assembling his goonies.
He's got these two additional people, super niche characters. They've been in only like 2 Mortal Kombat games, and at this point there's like 15. Yeah. So there's this guy named Jericho who is one of the most like generic character designs. He's just big bald dude with hammer. That's not even his hammer. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then they have this Batgirl named Nitara, who's only in 2 games, and why is she in this movie?
Yeah.
but there is a reason why.
Yeah. Wait, and then who's the robot guy? Cabal or Cable?
Oh, there's Cabal.
Yeah,
How could
Cabal.
I forget? He's the other recognizable character. He's a pretty cool character.
Yeah, I thought he was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
he's the Flash.
Yeah,
essentially.
but basically, he sends Cabal because he knows Kano.
Yeah.
And so he
tries to get him to his side because he's like, oh, I don't care that. Cabal says, I don't care that you betrayed me and you lit me on fire, so I have to wear this mask and be Bane for the rest of my life.
I was born in the darkness. I'm just kidding.
But he's like, I got a great deal in Outworld.
Yeah.
If you come join us, if you lower this force field, then I'll let you join this side and we could make hella money together. Essentially what he said. And then, of course, Kano, being an idiot, is like, fine, mate, I'll do it.
Fucking do it, mate. So, and then like he like blasts like Raiden's staff or whatever. That was like kind of like the battery to the whole force field. He brings it down, and then
Shang Tsung comes in.
Yeah, and then lo and behold, he betrayed them. Okay.
And then big fighting. Big fighting starts happening.
And then who is it? It's Kung Lao.
Oh yeah.
Versus.
So then there's the part when Shang Tsung like comes out to the training area where they do all the fighting, and people are kind of like portioned off into different fights. Like Sonya is busy fighting Melina, Kung Lao is fighting someone else, and Jax with his tiny Tyrannosaurus arms is fighting Jericho. I forgot what his name is.
Yeah.
I think it's actually Raiko. I think I got it wrong.
Whatever.
I think I was thinking about Chris Jericho.
Y2J, Chris Jericho. No,
so they're fighting, and then Kung Lao comes in, and then Shang Tsung is like, Nitara, fight this person. Nitara comes in, swoops in. Kung Lao like kicks her in the head, throws his hat, and it turns into a buzzsaw.
That shit was badass, bro.
That shit is tight because it's a direct reference to a fatality in the game, which is what he does. It's like he throws the hat and it's like a buzzsaw on the ground and forces Nitara to fly into it, and it splits her in half. Yeah. 10 seconds of screen time.
Doesn't he say like he like wipes his hat and he goes
does
like
that all the
flawless
time.
Victory or something, right?
Fuck, you're right. He totally says that. He retracts his hat, does that cool little like wipe thing. He's like, flawless victory. 5 seconds later, Shang Tsung is like, I fuck you. So he like
fucking kills him.
Yeah, and then he says fuck you to Kung Lao, like uses his telekinetic powers to pull him in and suck his soul out. He doesn't even say the iconic your soul is mine. And then Raiden finally comes in and he's like, oh god, like we're gonna lose at this rate. Everybody come here. So he takes all the people except for Kung Lao because he can't save him because we need stakes. We gotta have stakes. Someone has to die.
Even though he was like, to me, the most intriguing character. To me.
And then Raiden is like, oh, I'm gonna teleport us to somewhere safe, which is called like the Void or something like that, which doesn't make any sense. Okay, this is when the movie completely starts to fall apart. Raiden can access this temporal world that is in between realms that only he has access to. So why not fucking have them train there? And if they ever need to eat, just teleport them back. Because apparently Raiden's got the power to fucking send people willy-nilly to wherever the fuck. So their plan ends up being, Raiden's like, all right, we are going to need to deal with all the fighters. So we are going to, one by one as a group, Raiden says this himself, I will teleport one of Shang Tsung's fighters to a location and teleport all of you guys at the same time so you can gang up on him. So if he could teleport the enemy too, what the fuck is their problems? It's like this power seems incredibly overpowered. So it's just like it's a bunch of dumb shit happening. So then at this point also, Cole decided to leave because he's like, oh, I'm not worthy. Yeah. I'm just gonna go back to my family and live a nice family life. Yeah. So at this point he's back at home with his like wife and kid. And then Raiden is like, all right, we're gonna do this plan. Everybody go off and do your thing, which doesn't happen because like they just kind of get portioned off into like different groups of like singular fights. And then Shang Tsung sends Goro to fight Cole Young. If you didn't know, the lore of Goro is that he's the Prince of Outworld and he is the reigning champion of Mortal Kombat. Because of him, Outworld has been able to consistently win every single Mortal Kombat like tournament. That's his big thing. That's why in the original game he was the final boss. He's like this big menacing motherfucker with 4 arms. So Shang Tsung sends Goro to fight Cole Young at his like idyllic farmhouse, and then Goro comes in, he starts making a mess of everything, starts beating the shit out of Cole, and then he like punches his wife because his wife tried to like help him, and then Cole is like, no, don't touch my family, and then he unlocks his chi power, which is fucking dumb.
Yeah.
He gets some like stupid armor.
He has armor, and like the power that it has is like Black Panther's.
It is like Black Panther. Yeah, that's exactly what I noticed.
It builds up enough energy, and if you punch hard enough, it'll release that energy,
which makes him like nigh invincible.
Too bad he doesn't use it often.
He doesn't really use it often. He takes a few hits from Goro, and he makes Goro look like a chump.
Use your uppercut.
Use the uppercut. Oh my god.
And then he uses the uppercut.
He uses the uppercut.
And he defeats
Slight
Goro.
reference to the game, too. He uppercuts him, and he takes these 2 new blades that he acquires from his armor and slices up Goro. It's fucking whack.
And then from there, he meets back together with all the other fighters. Oh, wait, no. Sorry, I forgot to mention. Jax fighting. So wasn't it like Jax and Sonya Blade? They were fighting, right? And then like what had happened?
No. So Sonya's not part of this. So Jax gets sent off to
what looks to be they were just in the same area. Right?
Yeah. So Jax's locale. It looks like a level, like one of the stages from Mortal Kombat. It's called the Pit. It's a pretty iconic stage. It's like a single bridge with like an endless floor under them.
Yeah.
And Jax gets sent there to fight Chris Jericho with his big hammer. But at this point, Jax found his purpose in life and how he could rebuild himself. So
well, he fell in the pit with Sonya and with.
That was before.
That was before.
Yeah, that was when he was still fighting. They were still fighting with Shang Tsung, like the first fight that they had to lose, you know. And Jax has like a newfound like lease on life, so it's represented in his T-Rex arms.
And then, like the fucking Transformers movie.
Exactly like a Transformers movie.
Starts transforming, and all the pieces just start like
moving into place,
just like Transformers. And then now he has these
giant gorilla arms.
but now they're kind of proportionate to
a little bit
body.
proportionate, thank God. And he uses them to fight Raiko. And then he just starts beating him up, this stupid schmuck, like nothing of a character. And then he claps his hands and smashes his head, and he kills him. Do you remember if Jax ever says booyah?
Oh, I thought that was a Cyborg thing.
I feel like Jax says it too.
Well,
I don't know.
Oh, and also Sonya earned her mark. And then she shows up next to Cole.
Wait, you forgot actually that. How did she earn her mark?
I forgot.
Okay, we're gonna talk about that. So, Sonya gets sent off back to her base to fight Kano.
That's right. The payoff.
The payoff.
Okay, so
Chekhov's gun rears its ugly fucking head in this scene.
So she gets sent back to her outhouse or whatever. Sorry, I didn't mean it like that. But like her like hiding spot or whatever.
Yeah.
And Kano's there too, and they're fighting. And when they're outside in the front porch, he has her in like a chokehold or something.
Yeah.
And the first thing that Sonya sees is the gnome.
Okay.
The lawn gnome, the same lawn gnome
that
Kano spat on earlier.
Spat on, yeah.
She grabs it, stabs him in his fucking like laser eye, and then he dies. And she earns it. And then she comes back to where Cole and them are.
Hold that thought. Okay. We gotta retract a little bit because there's a particular part in that scene that pissed me off.
Okay.
There's a part where it's a reference to the game where one of Sonya's finishing moves is like a kiss of death, where she pulls out this dust and like blows it into the enemy's face. So Sonya like finds like some like flammable like dust or something, some like gunpowder or something, and she does that to Kano, and it gets in his eye, and his eye starts sparking. Why? It's not robotic. Why the fuck was that in there? They established that it's a magic eye. So why the fuck is it sparking? Oh my god. So anyways, moving on. Kano's fucking dead.
Kano's fucking dead.
He gets money shotted by the gnome.
They all eventually come back. Oh, also like Liu Kang's fight, I didn't remember it at all. So it's probably like an unforgettable fight. Like I don't know what the fuck happened.
It is a forgettable fight. That shit ain't unforgettable. It's easy to forget.
My bad.
So, Liu Kang, I think, is fighting a 2v1 with Melina and Cabal.
Oh, that's right.
And then, so he's fighting, and then, as he's about to get killed...
Doesn't he, like, set fire?
Yeah, we're gonna get to that. Yeah. So he's about to get killed by Melina, but thank God Sonya took the portal just in time and used her special new power, which isn't established.
Nope.
Like they don't show her getting it.
Not at all.
It's like a wrist gun.
Yeah.
And she like shoots it through Melina. Melina's dead. One shot, one kill.
Yeah, and there's a shot where you're looking through like the hole in
in her
Melina's body.
In Melina's body.
Yeah.
So then, like, Liu Kang also needs to deal with Cabal. So thank God for this plot convenience, where Raiden sent Liu Kang to fight Cabal in a place that has a pit of oil. Because Cabal's thing is that he runs fast, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember how Cabal gets in this situation, but he runs into the oil and he gets stuck.
Yeah.
And he can't move. So Liu Kang uses his fatality where he summons the big iconic dragon, and he lights, and then he like eats Cabal, but it's also made of fire, so it lights him on fire. Ironic, because Cabal is already burnt to a crisp. So now, boys, extra well done. And then that's the main brunt of the fighters defeated. And the reason why they wanted to portion them off and to like handle each of Outworld's lackeys one by one is because they believe Sub-Zero is the most capable fighter, which he is.
Yeah.
So how the fuck did Cole get there again?
He was just transported there.
Was he just transported there? Yeah. Because Sub-Zero holds Cole's family hostage.
Yeah, in the gym.
In the same gym that we saw him at in the beginning. So he freezes them and he like locks them in like this like ice block, and then he wants to have a one-on-one fight with Cole. And this is when it's revealed. Yeah. This is when it's revealed that through the power of Cole's lineage and the fact that he is a descendant of Scorpion, he is able to summon. My man's yawning.
Yeah, I am. My God,
he's able to summon Scorpion from the Nether Realm, which is hell in Mortal Kombat. And then they have their last fight. Like Scorpion says his thing. He says, "Get over here." Not in like a slightly Japanese accent, like
no, it was just some other fucking dude that did it.
Like how it would actually be accurate, because Hiroyuki Sanada and as a whole, Hanzo Asashi, which is Scorpion's character's name, is Japanese, so he doesn't know English. So of course there would be a Japanese accent, but whatever the fuck. They have a fight, which is actually pretty cool. This movie's book ended by like the cool bits.
No, for real, like it was a cool fight with like. Cole Young, Scorpion, and Sub-Zero. It was cool, but it went on for way too fucking long.
Like the part when it was just Scorpion and Sub-Zero, and they were like doing a bunch of moves from the game. Like a lot of the moves that Sub-Zero was doing. Like there's the part when they're like fighting, and then he like stabs him with like an icicle made out of his blood, and he makes like a wall, and he throws him through it. That is directly from Mortal Kombat 11, and it was pretty cool. And I was like, I'm down. Yeah. And then it goes on for a little too long. Cole Young has to step up to the plate and start fighting with his great grandpa, Scorpion. They beat the shit out of Sub-Zero. They free Cole Young's family, and then Scorpion finally gets his revenge by taking off his mask and doing the iconic fire-breathing fatality to kill Sub-Zero. And that wraps up the big conflict, and then Scorpion kind of fucks off because like he's tied to the Nether Realm, which is lore accurate.
Yeah, and then the movie ends with Cole in the same MMA gym, and the guy who owns it is like, "Oh,
where are you going now?"
Yeah, where you going now? And he's like, "Oh, I'm going to Hollywood," and then the guy who owns it is like, "Hollywood,
yeah, what's there?"
And then as he walks away, he walks past a poster, and on that poster it says Johnny Cage. Or whatever the fuck.
Yup.
So it looks like they're setting up Johnny Cage. He's like a Hollywood, like a movie star or something?
Yeah, he's actually like a joke character that is inspired by Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And that's how the movie ends. It ends with the Mortal Kombat music.
Mortal
Bum 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 bum. This movie is kind of trash.
If you can't tell, Josh and I are kind of exhausted just talking about that.
Yeah, I felt like I went 10 rounds with this movie.
But yeah. Anyways, I gave the movie a D.
Gave it a D. Damn.
Yeah, that's like one of the lowest ratings I've ever had.
Holy shit.
Well, no, the second one, but yeah, I gave it a D. What'd you give it, Josh?
I said, as a fan of the movie, it's like, as a fan of the games, it's like there are parts in it where I kind of had that Godzilla versus Kong feeling, where I was like, yeah, like that happened. I was like, woo. I had a few of those moments, but none of them were like as enjoyable or as funny as like Godzilla versus Kong. Yeah. So I said in my rating that if you're a fan of the games and you're familiar with like the story and whatnot, just a little bit, that it's kind of like it's like a 5. But if you know nothing about it, it's a 4. And I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much how I felt about the movie. I think it's better than so in the 90s they released 2 Mortal Kombat movies. There's the original Mortal Kombat and Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Annihilation
sucked ass.
Could go eat a big fat dick. It's so horrendous. It's got some of the best dialogue, got some of the best effects. You know how in Hausu there's kind of like a jankness to the movie, and like how they wanted to like key out certain like body parts for like special effects, and you could kind of see like overlapping with like the foreground, middle ground, and whatnot. It's a movie that's made in the 70s, and it's meant to give it like heart and whatnot. It's like it's kind of purposeful, given their technology and whatnot. It's a movie that's made in the 90s. It's got some of the worst green screen effects. It looks so funny.
I've seen clips.
And yeah, this movie is at least better than that. And
no, that's not really saying much.
That's not really saying much. That's a really low bar. The bar is set like 10 feet under the ground in the dirt.
But yeah, that is
Moron Kombat.
Our thoughts on Mortal Kombat. If you guys want to watch it, go ahead. It's on HBO Max.
I think it's still on HBO Max.
Yeah. Form your own opinions. Check it out. If you're gonna have fun, you're gonna have fun. But
and I think that just about wraps up the episode, huh? It's been 51 minutes.
We just went on about Mortal Kombat. I can't believe we did this, Josh. I can't believe we were able to go on about Mortal Kombat
for so long. Yeah. I mean, like, there's a lot of dumb shit to talk about.
Oh, and there's a lot of things we left out too, which I realized.
Yeah, there is.
But I guess we can save the whole martial arts movies conversation for another day.
Oh yeah, that's what we wanted to top off this episode with, but it turns out Mortal Kombat took up a large chunk of the episode. Just
like it took a large chunk of my life that I'll never get back.
That too.
We hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Thank you guys so much for supporting us. As always, please go check us out on Instagram at coworkers.podcast. Check us out on Spotify, Anchor, or YouTube. Be sure to give us any feedback on any of those platforms if you can. Yeah, we appreciate all your support. I'm Regan.
And I'm Josh.
Later, guys.
Have a good night, everyone.